5. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Answer the Call, the podcast where myself and Croncy talk Star Citizen with not just each other, but we also open the calls to you guys on Discord, using our platform to allow you guys to kind of get above all the noise and share your feelings about whatever the topic that we're talking about today is. Today, we're going to be talking about, well, we thought we were just going to be talking about Citizencon prediction show, like Citizencon predictions, but they dropped a 4.0 Evo last night, so we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. So those are going to kind of be the two things that you guys can talk about, I guess, or what we will talk about. Want to say thank you. We're over 5,000 subscribers now, well over 5,000 subscribers, so appreciate you guys enjoying the show. And yeah, Croncy's going to be going to Citizencon. I am not, so there's that as well. But I don't know. How you doing, Croncy? Welcome. Hello again for another week. He's tired. He's tired. I'm tired too. Not as tired as him,
There's a lot of
though.
things to do in preparation for Citizencon, not least like all like the Atmos stuff that we're doing. And so it's just been very aggressive the last few days, all the things I have to do.
Yeah.
And luckily I leave almost around this time tomorrow. So
Yeah.
As we were talking about off stream, I'll get to have a nice big nap on the plane.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. I'm still very, very excited. Just very tired.
Yeah. I am tired because just Evo test last night, and then I got to post a video about it, and then and it's just sleepy because of that, and then up early for the stream. But I don't know. Do you want to start with the 4.0 stuff, or there was also the quick Benoit post? We can get that kind of stuff out of the way, I guess.
Yeah, let's
Since
go.
It's not really the topic.
Yeah. Let's go 4.0.
Okay.
It's the big one. It was mostly a surprise that it happened.
Yeah.
But it sort of felt like they were trying to do something big this week, and that's what it was a 4.0 Evo, right? So,
what do you think about it?
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Like trying to do something big?
Yeah. So it obviously speaks a lot to like, there's certainly marketing incentive for them to do this right before Citcon, especially because during Citcon they can then say, hey guys, it's with Evo. At the same time, it doesn't feel out of place with what we've been testing the last like few weeks necessarily.
Agreed.
Like,
have you seen Twitter
it's
this
not
morning?
that weird. So
have you seen
yeah,
Twitter?
I don't know. A little bit. Why is there some stuff?
They posted a video. It's so weird. They posted a video of the caves that are in Stanton, and then said, just put it up on the screen, like super low effort, super weird, of 4.0 now in testing. Or now with Evo Cadi.
Yeah,
like,
now with Evo. Yeah.
Like this is some sort of it is literally a directive to be like, we did it within the year, even though like, guys, Croncy, care to share your experience with 4.0 if you can?
Yeah, it was a great experience. I was able to log into the main menu, and then I was also able to recopy my account, and then re-log into the main menu, and then recopy my account, and then verify files, and then log into the main menu and recopy my account. So I wasn't able to get in at all, and I was having 60k errors. Like a fair few people were.
Yes, they were.
Though from the whole pool, it seems like it was the minority. So yeah, that wasn't great. To be fair, I just in regards to that, I have had 60k errors with like every Evo patch in the last like while.
Yep. Yeah, me too. I just keep clicking them over and over again, and then eventually I get in. But I had the opposite experience. I got in and it was pretty good. But if you really look at the thing overall, it was incredibly unpolished. Essentially, I think data miners even looked at it apparently, and it was nearly exactly the same playtest that we had last year or earlier this year or something like that. So it was very similar. Nothing has really changed. We had Stanton loop tables. We had no missions, so on and so forth. So there is so much missing that within 1 week, I do not see us having a 4.0 considered a 4.0 like experience at all for anybody. So I'm not even sure what this marketing push even is, and that's what makes it feel really kind of scummy, disingenuous, whatever, like just goofy and weird, and like just trying to have some sort of a positive spin on an incredibly negative year. And good luck, because people aren't as stupid as you think they are, I guess. They are, but like I certainly came out of it feeling positive, but I'm only sharing my experiences that I had. So I can get into that. Is I only focused on two things because the test was limited in time. I focused on contested zones because we had a hint that they might be there. So I went to Checkmate, and I went through the contested zone area. The contested zone gameplay was not there, but it was. So because the area is the gameplay too, right? We knew that there would be locked doors. I was able to find multiple ways to unlock doors, and I'm not going to say how because I don't want to spoil that for anybody, because I think that part of the puzzle was really fun. So, and for anybody, just really quickly, the idea of me being frustrated with this marketing push and this BS, in my opinion, is not like, oh, so what's wrong with CIG making money or anything like that. It is you are seemingly rushing something out that you have been 4 years late on, and are now trying to appears to be rushing something out to say that you did it instead of doing it right. And we've always heard about how CIG will do things, we'll take our time and we'll do things right. Everybody should be mad at this. Nobody should be happy with this, because you should want them to take their time and do it right, because that's the game you backed, right? That's the whole allure of this. Well, there's investors, but you know what I mean. There's no big company looming over them saying this is the date, get it done, and whenever that date happens, you're getting it out. So that's the argument here. No one's telling them not to market and not to make money. So I see comments like that. Just shut up. You're clueless.
Not just to mention, I think they would have done a lot better to just not be weird about Evo. Like, I think the thing to celebrate would be like PTU, or a lot more of a public
open PTU. Tech preview.
That'd be a lot cooler thing. So
those are celebratory events.
Exactly. It is cool that Pyro that jump points and Pyro got into the hands of players. It's just, Evo isn't the one to celebrate, I don't think. I just think
I jumped through a jump gate like a year ago, like forever ago, months and months and months ago. I jumped through a jump gate already. So, there's that. For me, the contested zones were very cool. There were drugs there. There might be some cool loot there. We'll see. But for the most part, there's a new animal that I found.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a little rat.
Very cool.
Little rat. It doesn't have any harvestable on it. At least at this time, there's no harvestable.
Yep.
And I was at the fire rats area, and if you've ever played Escape from Tarkov, it gave vibes of the cultists in the marked room, like just very, very culty vibes. And that's where I'll leave it. But the location was huge. It seems like it's going to be a camper's heaven. So hopefully we have FPS radar ping, and we'll see. But
it needs some counterplay. Exactly.
And that's where I'll leave it. So after that, we immediately went to try and jump. And I took a huge ship. I went with a Caterpillar. Pretty silly, but I did it. And the first jump went like incredibly well. It started off a little rough. So the process is you do not call the ATC in this test. You walk up to the jump point. All of a sudden, when you get close enough, this developer UI comes up. It's very similar to the developer UI that we saw in the ISCs. And you just get up close to it, and then you get another like developer message that pops up that is like something completed or something accepted or something like that. And you left click and you shoot the quantum fuel into the jump point, and then you go through the process, and it pulls you in. Pulls you in really fast. And
I was watching the entire Evo chat. Well, it was in the patch notes that had like a bug, but watching the entire Evo chat be like, "Oh God,
Yep.
I have been yeeted."
Yep. And I was lucky enough in my first jump to like recognize where I was yeeted to and then get back into the hole before I was kicked out. So then I completed an entire jump like relatively smoothly, and the visuals were fantastic, like way exceeded expectations for me. If you ever remember the 2015 demo of a jump point, they nailed it. The sound nailed.
You mean the 2019 one?
No, the 2015 one.
Oh God, that's way before
They
me.
showed
they
showed a GIF of it, and
Okay.
it was that. And the 2019, like the 2019 was a version of the 2015, but they really nailed the original thought process of it. Sound was fantastic. The gameplay was just challenging enough that it felt good, and that like you were doing something. It was tactile. It was enjoyable. Like I felt like I was surfing a wormhole. It was really cool.
Yeah.
I didn't experience this in my first jump, but I was watching other people in our group jumping with other people. You're watching them, the other people hit the sides, and the the visual effects of that.
Get blown out and stuff. Yeah.
Amazing. It was just wonderful. It was fantastic. And then last thing, 2.5 minutes in the wormhole. So it is a long experience, and I can see that getting tedious, but at the same time, how often are we? You're not going in the wormhole and coming back, going in the wormhole and coming back that often. So, yeah. But overall, I thought it was fantastic. I think they nailed it. But then when we went to go again and again and again, we actually fell out one time, and we didn't. I don't think we took any damage, but we ended up in like way off the map in Stanton, and then we crashed the desktop, and when we all came back, we were in Pyro. So don't know what happened there. So that was weird. That's when things started to kind of snowball, and we never really got to jump again after that. So that's when instability started to happen, constant crashes, all this other crap. Last thing, scrolled out on the Mobiglass. Stanton star, Pyro star. On the Mobi. So the map extends past the system you're in.
Yep.
So those were my experiences. I did not go to asteroid bases. I did not go to a planet's surface. I did not spend that much time on other parts of the station. No new FPS guns in. No missions. No anything, really. It was the jump points. It was the server meshing test. It was the same Pyro preview we had before, I think. So, yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah, you mean as in the last time you had the jump point test?
The last time we had a Pyro preview. It was pretty much the same.
The Pyro preview that we had didn't have Pyro 4, 5, and 6, notably.
Neither did this.
It did.
Oh, it does, but it doesn't. Yeah. They were like black. 5 was there, apparently. So most of the planets were completely black holes. You couldn't see any of them, and they're not there.
Sure.
Yeah. So Pyro 5, I think, was the only one that people were able to go to just to be like...
Yep.
I think what they did was they used an older build, and a lot of shit was broken, is what happened. Yeah. And you can make two arguments here. You could say CIG has done a lot of stuff, and they used an older build to not spoil. Possible, but unlikely, because CIG. The more likely thing is there's still a lot of work to be done. And, yeah. So this feels very much like a marketing thing, and I don't like the vibes of it, but we'll see.
Yeah, I will say this is the bigger stuff that you do need to test for 4.0 anyway. It is the main feature of 4.0.
The meshing part, you mean?
The
jump points. Yeah.
Right? Yeah, jump points and server meshing. So in PTUs of the more recent past, as in the last 2 years, they do focus on like each literal like PTU patch adding in a feature. So as long as Evo tests continue soon, and I think that's the big caveat over this whole test, whether to decide whether it's not just a marketing thing or if it's like actually ready for testing. The big caveat will be, will they add those features? Will they add those locations?
Yep.
And so on. I am very excited that it is finally in people's hands, regardless, even in the state that I have heard it in. But I would love it to be in my hands.
Yeah, it's
before
unfortunate.
I fully judge it.
The next thing that I would go to though is just because I do think that they are related, is Benoit posted on server meshing the last test. They found some errors. That they're not sure why some errors happened and other things. I would say it was a pretty good test. They went to the 2000 even though they knew it would be shitty, and they got some they were able to I think it'll improve the 1,000-player test essentially. Now, the things that I want to point out that I think were pretty interesting, and we both did these tests, right? Did you do it on Thursday?
No, because once again, at a time
the timing of it, yep, classic. But the test went pretty well, I would say, and
I heard good things.
The thing that they're saying here is we were on 324.x for those tests, right?
Yeah,
and an older build than what we have in the PTU.
Yeah, not even .2. Like
not even .2.
It was
Exactly. This says they're going to 4.0.x. So we know 324.2 is like the 4.0 branch kind of, but what we tested in Evo last night was this, right? So they did the baseline test, essentially. What the baseline would be probably for Pyro and Stanton. 2 dedicated servers per star system with 100 players total. And that's what we did. And there was stability for a really long time, and then there was instability. So as far as an Evo test went, it went really well because it started off good and then got worse instead of started off horrible and then we just stop, right? Which is usually how Evo goes. So
the test got extended an hour as well, right? Is my understanding.
They said 2 to 3 hours, and then they said 2.
Okay, sure.
So it ended up going an hour longer than it was supposed to. Wasn't it for dedicated servers, 100 players on Evo? Yes. 2 per star system, 100 players, which is what I would consider maybe the baseline for a double star system instead of what they would do in a Stanton, for example. So now they're moving over to the 4.0. So if you want to cope and you want to say that this isn't marketing, that they are testing in Evo this 4.0 branch with server meshing, and then bringing over all the changes, fixes, and stuff that we did in the 324.x. So if you want to cope and say, all these things it's actually good things and they're not doing this, there's your argument for people there if you want to make it. I still think it is 90% marketing, 20% or 10% like actual gameplay stuff, because just the timing of everything. It's just people say that marketing has no power, yet the timelines of this stuff is just it happens every time. Like, just stop telling me that it doesn't. It's crazy.
The incentive of it is so high that it feels like it's impossible that it's not like at least a major part of these decisions.
Exactly.
But if the tests work, that's still good.
Of course. So, like my video is super positive about it, and I don't mention this stuff at all. I should have. I regret not doing it. But it's hard to ignore, right? That the timing of this stuff, and
I would love to see a post from Benoit about the 4.0 Evo test in regards to server meshing and how that went, because that really is the first proper server meshing test, like in terms of actually the different systems being meshed type thing.
Yeah.
So hopefully we get that as well.
Yeah. So that was all that, and I think I'm ready to talk about Citizencon. What about you?
Let's do it.
All right. So
we got like 5 days away, which is crazy.
I know. This year feels simultaneously like the slowest year ever and the fastest year at the same time. It's been very, very wild year. But we got the Citizencon schedule of the actual panels. And before we jump into them individually, how did you feel, like your first impression? What was the first thing you saw? What'd your eyes get drawn to? How was your hype level? Like what was your initial feelings?
Oh, Mike. So I mean, the first thing that I noticed was the redacted, just because it's very eye-catching, and I was like, all right, cool.
Sure. And
that's
UEE around it.
Awesome.
Yeah, that squadron, obviously.
That
Why even
squadron.
redact it?
The big thing about it, I will say though, is that it is a chunky time allocation. I would imagine, seeing as venue closes at 9 p.m., that panel will finish at like 7:30, 8 o'clock, something like that. So that's
gonna be a
lot
long
of time
day
for them to show some stuff, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I was very, very surprised and very happy with the like names of some of these panels and the descriptions, especially Social Universe, Crafting Your Home. Yeah.
I saw Captains of Industry and was like, industry?
Yep.
Nice. So that was the first thing that stuck out to me. I obviously saw the Star Citizen 1.0. That stuck out. And Brave New Worlds stuck out to me. And I got to say, my initial thought process when looking more in detail, day one looked like garbage for most of the day. Like really crappy. Just initial.
Okay,
When I looked, yeah. So I was like, oh my God, social cosplay contest, dress to kill me. Right? So that's what I was thinking. I was like, this is going to be the longest, most boring 3 panels of all time. Right? Yeah. And, but then when you read into more detail, I think it gets a little bit better. The second day, I was like, day 2 is all me. Day 2 is all me. Crafting your home, crafting, period. All the ships that are going to do the crafting stuff, it seems like. And then the 1.0, like, tell me what you want this game to be, and, you know, that kind of thing.
Yep.
So, obviously, the Squadron stuff I'm hyped for. But day 1, I was like, this is garbage. But now we can go through and talk about why it probably isn't. If you want to start out with Brave New Worlds?
Yeah. So Brave New Worlds, introducing Genesis, the innovative suite of technologies and processes within Star Engine that breathe new life into truly immersive worlds, achieving the fidelity and scale required to fill an entire universe. This is a 2-hour-long panel. This is the Star Engine demo, essentially, again, but sounds like they're going to be showing things.
Truly new life, worlds. Truly immersive worlds. Plants, animals,
this is the
maybe?
panel that I see is going to be talking about AI, talking about planet tech, talking about like locations. It's your world building section, but also like what will you be encountering, right?
Yeah.
Important one to note about this. I don't remember his name, but one of the CIG devs has already said that he will be talking during this panel, and he's
probably
in the tech
Ian.
team.
He's like, yeah, it's Ian.
I think Ian.
Ian's been running around yapping his mouth all over the place. Him and Zach. I've been yelling at him lately because I'm like, you guys, you got to put your money where your mouth is. You can't keep yapping about how great everything is before you actually deliver it, because then you end up with the same crap we had last year. So I got pissed actually. I actually yelled at one of them, I think. But yeah, I think it's I think this is one of the ones that I'm like, about. I think what we'll probably see is other planets. Maybe we see like a glimpse at a place like if I'm gonna reach really far, this is where we see the glimpses of perhaps like Magnus and like Terra or Nyx or whatever. Yeah. I think the one that you should look out for the old school people, and Croncy, I'm not sure how did you ever get to be in Nyx and Lagski?
For like 6 months. Yeah.
Okay. So like you can kind of remember what it looked like and the approach and all that stuff and how much smaller it was than the other places and everything like that. That's the one I'm really looking for, is what is different. Like old to new, I think will be the easiest to tell, because they can fake Terra incredibly, but they can't fake Nyx as much because we were already in it and we know what it looked like. So I think if they were to do stuff like that, that's the one to look for.
It's important to note that what you're describing as well may not be in this panel, but it may be a literal like here is a very like 20-second quick look at one of those. Yep. As there is a proper panel for that sort of stuff specifically later on in the day.
Yep. Yeah, and there might actually be one, but I still think they might, because they do sneaks of things that they're showing later. They did the same thing last year.
Star Engine last year.
Yes.
And then they were like, here is Star Engine's first panel, and then they showed all of that stuff in more depth, or a lot of that stuff in more depth.
Exactly.
Over the weekend.
Exactly. So that's probably what this will be, right?
Yeah.
Social universe. I was like, this is garbage. What is this?
Mike hates socials.
Well, I do.
Yeah, I love
like
this.
to be by
This is
myself.
sick.
But
So,
what
yeah.
do you think this is? Because somebody kind of corrected me that it was like, maybe it is more than what they had shown on the last ISCs and called social areas, right?
This is almost certainly party and organization content.
Exactly. If it's not,
which,
would you
hell
be
yeah.
disappointed?
Yes.
I would. Yes.
Yes. Especially like you read this description once again, from personal one-on-one interactions to massive gatherings with hundreds and even thousands of players.
Yeah.
That's what you're describing. You are describing party gameplay, org gameplay, PvP in general gameplay, right? That is a social aspect of the game. So if it's not about those things, I don't know what the hell it could be.
Exactly.
And once again, sort of like going off of what some devs have said about like Zach, who said that this is more gameplay focused, this Citizencon, which we'll see if that happens. But if that is true, then that lends itself towards that as well. Of
Bro,
it actually being about
what was last year?
features.
Was last year not gameplay
Last year was
focused?
UI and tech, right?
Yeah.
With the big stuff.
Yeah, I guess. There were some gameplay things, but...
There
All
was
right,
some, yeah.
Tell me about the cosplay contest. What is it? All right, Dress to Kill.
I mean, it'll be cool.
It'll be cool. Yeah, same. They're fun. They've always been fun. People are so talented and stuff with this, but obviously there's not much to say on it right now, at least. Dress to Kill, this will be my nap session. I don't really care about any of this, personally.
Ooh, I don't know if that's true, Mike. I think you're going to like this more than you're saying. This is...
Character-focused specializations.
Yeah. So this is like recon armor, presumably. It's like all the different armor specializations that we've seen them talk about in the monthly reports. At least is the hope that that's what this is. My big thing, because I'm sure that's almost exactly what it's going to be. What the hell is the return of a legendary friend from Citizencon's past? One of my viewers has a prediction.
Oh, it's very
has
obvious.
Something to do with the sandworm.
No. Tessa Bannister.
But is she a Citizencon like legendary friend? That's what I'm saying. It's not from Star Citizen's past. It's from Citizencon's past.
Oh.
Yeah. Because a lot of people have said Tessa, but I don't think Tessa and like Citizencon are like a very related thing. Which is why what my friend said about it, it's going to be the sandworm.
So I'm seeing Sandworm, I'm seeing Tony Z, I'm seeing Glenn, I'm seeing Todd Pappy, I'm seeing Jay Lee in Twitch chat. So like, and is nobody wrong?
No, yeah, fair. Like
all of those are
anything,
kind of
I'm
somewhat fair. Jax is the one that makes the most. No, Jax isn't at Citizencon.
No, Jax isn't Citizencon. He's IAE.
Yeah, he's just after Citizencon.
Yeah.
So who outside of the Sandworm was legendary at Citizencon?
Exactly. It's such a weird thing. At the very least, in the few years that I've watched Citizencon, there hasn't been. It's who?
Bone. He was only legendary last year, guys. Relax.
True.
It needs to be a few more years.
Yeah,
so
he's gonna try on all of the outfits live for all of us.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, so we're already at the end, which is Beyond Pyro, which is where this is an obvious one, but all of the previous the previous panels I thought were going to be crap, but they all have things that I would be focused in once you read the description of them, right? The titles are not telling the whole story. Don't read the book by its cover, right? So then Beyond Pyro, I think this is where we go. I mean, what would be the systems you want to see? We know they're going to other systems, obviously. And do you think they're going to do the thing they've done in years past, which show them very unpolished, very not ready, very not close, but they'll pretend they will be, right? So is it...
Yeah.
Are we going from Pyro to the next system very quickly or not? That's basically the question here.
So I do have some predictions about that. So I do think we will go to Nyx pretty quickly because it was The Nix is a very small system with no major landing zones apart from Levski. And Levski already had some assets. I'm sure I'd seen a facelift, but it already had some assets. I think it's literally like three dead planets in there. So it's a very quick system compared to Stanton and Pyro, right?
Keep in mind, Pyro had a lot of dead planets as well.
That's true. That is true.
So
if they do scale it up, right, there could be some more to it. But we also do know they showed us a bunch of the planet tech for Nix literally 3 years ago in an they haven't done sprint reports in a while, but it was in a sprint report a while ago. And we got to see some glimpses of it. So I imagine Nix is, if not done, very close to done, and the stuff that maybe not be done is like placement of missions and stuff, right?
Okay.
I think Magnus may be close. I looked it up again. Magnus also kind of a dead system with only, I think it's 2 or 3 planets. However, has one major landing zone because it is where Drake make their ships. So that could be one, as well as it is connected to Stanton, right? By jump point.
3 planets.
Yep. Yeah, 3 planets. One of them's a gas giant. Magnus 1 is like a Mercury-style planet, and then Borea is where Drake make their ships. So that could be another major one that I think that they could reasonably like develop in secret. Is sort of where my brain is going, right? For them to do secret reveal.
Okay.
I don't know if they could do more than those. I've seen a lot of people say they could do Terra. Hell no, could they do Terra in secret? Look at that system. Every single planet is like a landing zone. It's like Stanton 2.0. It'll be absolutely wild if they're able to do that. I
don't know.
So I think we will see like 2 systems. Is sort of what I'm picking at, as well as they may just show new biomes, like generic biomes. Like, hey, we've made a jungle biome. Here's what it looks like. We've made a
I think almost certainly we'll see a jungle biome, and probably in the first panel, because they hinted at the jungle version of the cow, right? So,
yeah, true.
Yeah, and look at how many locations are here.
Yeah, exactly. I think Terror is unrealistic. I think that would be further down the line, because it's just there's so much to it. It's so big.
I think they might show. I mean, they showed ArcCorp years before it was ready, right? So I think that they theoretically can do something sneaky like that, but not really. I don't know, deliver on it in a long time, but hype you up. They're going to hype us. They're gonna overhype something, right? And if they're gonna overhype something, it could easily be a system like Terra. That's my guess. Is there's gonna be a moment of overhype here. What's it gonna be? It's gonna be in that panel. It's gonna be in that panel.
Certainly on the first day, yeah.
Yeah, right. So next one.
I will say there is maybe something that you could infer as well about the fact that this is right before the redacted panel.
So Odin,
which is those Beyond Pyro worlds could be related to Squadron. They do that a lot, right? They'll
frontline systems
have something to do with it. So
yeah, I tend to look at, unless they plan on changing the star map or the connections. I keep looking at like, all right, what's connected to Stanton? What's connected to the systems that are connected to Stanton?
Exactly.
Because like, how would we get to a system that isn't connected to Stanton that might be farther away, right? So that would be the one. I think it's very obvious what the redacted one will be. I think it's very obvious that certain celebrities might be there. And I don't know. I don't.
Lots of talk about
care
people
much.
saying Mark Hamill will be here, even if it's not Mark Hamill. A lot of actors in Squadron are British.
Yeah.
So
could be, and
there'll be some people there.
Yeah, and I don't care. I care a lot about Squadron 42. I do, but I just don't care to get excited about it. I just can't wait to sit there and take it in. Like the same thing last year. Just took in that that I guess reveal or whatever, and it was just enjoyable. I just enjoyed it, and I can't wait for this panel to just enjoy it, and that's it.
Yeah,
you know,
I will.
That's all.
I will say when they showed this entire, like both days, way less squadron than I was expecting. I thought this was going to be super squadron heavy, and then like a little bit, like maybe like 2 or 3 panels about Star Citizen, but yeah, no, they're like most of the panels are Star Citizen. So
yeah, kind of crazy.
About that.
And then the venue closes at 9. Okay.
Yeah.
One other thing which I don't have on the screen now and can't just quickly bring up, they did add a couple things to the map, which was 2 little sim pits or something.
Sim pits, yeah.
So there's that, but I don't know how much we can read into that.
I imagine honestly, it's just like Monster Tech setting up some fancy sim pits for people to play with.
Sure, and if you don't mind me taking a little time here to let everybody know that Croncy's going to be there. I'm going to be live streaming it here on this channel with very similar scenes and shooting it over to YouTube. I will not be shooting it over to the Answer the Call YouTube for the people that are watching it there. We're going to be shooting it over to Level Cap Gaming's YouTube channel. So me and Level Cap are going to be doing the stream together. Croncy, if he's able to and isn't schmoozing, will call in hopefully and let us know what it's like to actually be there. He has got a lot going on with Atmo Esports, so I don't expect you to necessarily be able to. No pressure at all, obviously, only if you can. And yeah, we'll see what we can do and what we hear about and how things go. But I'll be covering it. My stream is going to be starting at 3 a.m. Eastern time on Friday and 2 a.m. Eastern time on the Saturday or Saturday and Sunday, sorry.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the first day, 3 a.m. Eastern. The second day, 2 a.m. Eastern. And Level Cap's in California, so keep that in mind. He is 3 hours different than I am, so it's going to be it's going to be a rough day. I mean, the days end kind of early, so it'll be fine. Like,
yeah,
I actually can have a life on those days, which is kind of cool.
Yep.
And yeah, so that's day 1. Day 2 is all for me. All for me. Crafting your home. Explore the fundamentals of crafting. So already kind of setting the expectations there, in my opinion, is this isn't the super in-depth, maybe like, going down an Eve rabbit hole kind of level of crafting, right? This is going to be the fundamentals of crafting and base building, including how they combine to enable new opportunities for players and ultimately create the future of life amongst the stars, right? So hopefully whatever we learned in the social panel can apply to what we learned here. How are we interacting with these things? How are we playing together? Why does this stuff matter? I'm very much looking forward to that, right? Very, very cool. Yep. Very, very excited. Don't know exactly what to expect here because we saw blueprints last year. We saw base building last year. I will say another thing from the Evo patch last night was, and I can't bring it up on stream because I can't look at it right now, but there were a number of new commodities that we've never seen before. Argon was one of them, and some plastic thing, demi-plastic, something like that. There was like 4 or 5 new commodities that we'd have never seen before. So flex tape, no, not flex tape. It was flexi plastic or something. It was flexi something. It was some weird thing I've never heard of. But that's in there. So there's quite a few new things that appear to be set it up. Dynaflex and bioplastic. Thank you, chat. So yeah, there's some things there. Then Captains of Industry. Now, if I could just talk on crafting. Please, yeah, I didn't give you a chance. Yeah, my apologies.
So obviously, end of last year, they talked about how they were going to start concepting base building, and then obviously we've heard nothing all year except for that very, very small video sneak peek that didn't really show us much, just showed us like some hard assets.
Yeah.
The big thing and my big takeaway is just the fact that they're mentioning crafting more and more. Because even in the base building like presentation they made last year, it didn't seem like crafting itself was as big of a priority.
Yeah.
And over the course of the year, it's been sneaking in every like which way and getting in there. So I'm really hoping that they have a decent concept of how they want to do crafting, and I do still think it is important. There's still probably mostly going to be concepts because that's what they did this year, right?
Yeah, so. For sure. So I will be very, very, very focused on that panel, and I will be trying to take in every single word and overthink everything and have the rest of my year ruined because of it. And then Captains of Industry. Well, I just want to point out before we go into that, this appears to be the ship panel, but it appears to be a very focused ship panel and not on like all the ships that we're going to deliver to you for the next year. So uncover the ships and ground vehicles. We knew that from last year's panel that there was going to be a couple ground vehicles that were going to do some base building, the smaller ones for the smaller bases. That will serve as your primary tools for base building in the verse, and revisit a classic and more. What do you think the classic is? I think it can only be one.
The way that I read revisit a classic, I don't think it can be a ship in concept.
So you don't think it's the Pioneer?
No, I don't. At least I would not use that phrasing for a ship that's not already been released, if that makes sense. So in my mind, it might be like the Starfarer.
Could be. A lot of people are saying Connie in the Twitch chat. Silly people are saying Banu Merchantman. Like, wake up from your copium-filled dreams.
But yeah, so I feel like it has to be something like that. It still could be the Pioneer. It's just it's not the words that I would use to describe it.
Reclaimer potentially, yeah, but I don't want to see the Reclaimer doing stuff like that. I want ships personally. This is just my preference. I want mining ships to be mining ships. I want refining ships to be refining ships, right? Sure. Excuse me. Salvage ships to be salvage ships.
Salvage ships, yeah.
And I want refining ships to be refining ships as well, but that's not what I was trying to say. So yeah, that's just my personal preference, but yeah.
Yep. Regardless, whatever new ships come out, they're gonna be industry focused. Don't expect any military ships this year. I wouldn't even expect,
unless they were military grade crafting
type ones. Sure.
Right? Because you could theoretically tie in repair, refuel, rearm to this potentially.
Yep.
So if they really want to go that route, they could, I guess.
Yeah, that's possible.
Yeah.
I will also say, based on the timing of these two panels, this will be like proper back-to-back type panel. I doubt there'll be much of a break in between them. Which they also did a lot of last year. The panels that were like really close together in like topics. It was literally just like, anyway, and now I'm going to bring on Old Man.
Yeah. Ooh. A lot of chat's bringing this up. I think I know what the classic is. They have been teasing it a lot. They've been showing it a lot in their base building, crafting, even in last year's Citizencon. The Mule. The Mule will never have a purpose in the way that it is now.
Is it a classic though? It's barely been out for 2 years.
That's I don't know. I think it could be.
Could be also like one of the other ones. It could be the MPUV, like some variant of the of that for this sort of stuff. Especially because I think they even showed
maybe the Rock
last year in the concept pictures. One of the like crafting vehicles was like an MPUV variant.
Sorry, I had to sneeze there. A lot of people are bringing up the Rock too. Maybe that's why Jared's been making jokes about the Rock for so long. Could be that.
That'd be a decent chassis for doing crafting, I think. For doing base building, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's the Pioneer personally, but I'm playing the devil's advocate with you here as well. But
yeah,
I want it to be the Pioneer because the big Imagine, the big copium tank filling thing for me was like, okay, they said that they do want us to build things in space. They do want us to build ships. So it was like, okay, they are building the game that I think I want to play. So I hope they do talk more about that between these two panels, personally.
Yeah.
You want to move on to the last one? Because this is the one that, I think is
this is the one that's going to make people angry when it happens.
For sure.
Yeah.
But I think the way people are going about it is correct, like saying, hey, this is where you're going to find out that you're not going to like something about SC. But I also think it's the most pointless, like biggest waste of time to communicate to us. I think it is what they need to do internally, but this is one of those things that they do externally that will just make them look stupid.
How do you mean?
I mean, we are saying that we're going to do something and that we are prioritizing certain things and in October, right? And by January 15th, 2025, those plans will have changed.
Sure.
So the idea of telling people what it is and then not constantly telling you the changes, which they don't, it ends up creating this animosity in the community, and then people get really pissed off. And this community was worse this year than they'd ever been as far as that kind of stuff goes, because they did more of this type stuff this year than they ever have. Like, we are going to do this and then not do it, right? So this is their opportunity to screw all that up again. Or this is their opportunity to actually lay out a plan, stick to it, and do it. So this is like very make or break in terms of one thing that Zach has been saying a lot publicly, like in my Discord and other places, is this is the Rich Tyrer era. Like, this is finally like his first Citizencon, his first thing. This was Rich Tyrer's first like letter for the chairman type of thing that he wrote. So this was like his baby, right? This is Rich's baby. This is where Rich, like, put your money where your mouth is then, right? Last year at Citizencon, Rich told us he hates pay to win. Meanwhile, you know, we just sold a $40 tractor beam that's better than all the other tractor beams. Yes, we will talk about it, chat. Yeah, okay? We will talk about it after this. All right? So that's the part where I'm like, why do this even? Because you're just going to end up looking stupid. This is literally 2016 4.0 farming panels, you know, on the screen kind of thing.
That's a little bit of something I was going to talk about. So, when was the last time CIG did a vertical slice? This is what we want Starset to be.
Never.
Well, it would be like 2016.
Yeah, I mean, 2016 was more like roadmap, but I would say never, to be honest with you.
Okay, fair enough. Well, then that is 100% something we need to see, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Because, so many people come into the game with literally random expectations about what the game will end up being, and then are either disappointed or, you know, sometimes pleasantly surprised about certain features coming out and whatnot.
Now we can point them somewhere.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now we can point people somewhere, which is really good. And that, like, in my little rant about this, I just was playing on what it can be. One of two things. It can be something that just makes them look dumb for the next couple of years, because it's not going to. 1.0 is not happening by the end of next year.
If they fail to deliver everything they talk about in 1.0, then it's super bad.
Or completely, or not even fail to deliver, completely change your mind on something. You know what I mean? Because CIG says what they want to do before they actually do the work to find out if they can. And when they go to do it, they find out that they can't, so they have to change it. Or they find out that there's a better way of doing things, so they change it. Like the whole thing that Jared's been saying a lot over the last few months on like SCL. We're not afraid of the better idea. It's like, yeah, okay, but you know, the better idea would not be to tell everybody what the bad idea is first. Like, what the fuck, man? So yeah,
so I guess
I don't know.
Like a good version of this panel, I guess, then would be where CIG are able to say, you know, this game will be fun and engaging and realistic, not like in-game realistic as in the scope is realistic. Yes. That'll probably be a good way for this panel to be, right?
Yep. Like if we could judge like how realistic is the scope. Do they give a timeline? Yeah. That'll be another thing. Because if they just say this is Star Citizen 1.0, like, okay, well, you know, does it look really far away? Does it not look really far away? Like, what does it look like, right?
Yeah.
So that'll be
There'll be some discussion about that in there. Like, once again, we've just now gotten into 4.0 Evo testing, sorta.
Kind of.
We don't know what's after that yet. We know there will be .x patches. I imagine part of the conversation in this panel will be like, you know, and some of these features that we're talking about, we're obviously aiming for possible 4.1, 4.2, whatever. I think there will be a coming soon section of it.
Yep, for sure. And then I guess the thing that people are really hyper focused on is PvE or PvP, PvE, non-combat. What type of game is Star Citizen? So a lot of people are hyper fixated on that sentence. thinking that it's one of them instead of all of them, which we all know that it is
Yeah,
all
it's
of
all
them.
three. That's
right?
the point. Yeah.
So, but I think people are like, how much of it is it going to be?
Yeah.
Like I've seen people hyperfixated on that stuff. I think again they're just going to lay out what 1.0 is and what's entailing it.
Yeah.
What I want to see from them is the culmination of some of the stuff that they talked about on the org side. What are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
Why are we doing it? What are your high level game design plans of what big groups are going to do, what small groups are going to do, what casual players are going to do, what your I play 8 hours a day kind of person does. Cause,
why am I logging in every day to play this? Give me the reason.
Yeah, tell me why. Or you don't have to tell me why, but I don't know. Like when playing Eve, I never was given a reason why to play, but there's tons of things to do, and then I found my own reasons, right? And that's kind of how MMOs work. What are the things that are going to be out there, and why can I do them? Like there's lots of things to do in Star Citizen, but there's no why part. So hopefully this is the why, and we'll have to see. And then your big thing.
Yeah, I was super sick to see them actually put this on the official schedule because it's technically like an off.
It's not
like
them, right?
It's not them. It's at a different venue. It is. We are getting a lot of support from CIG, but it was still super cool to do this. So yeah, for 10 hours we've got a big old Enter Atmosphere thing. I got a poster over in the corner. That one.
That's the one that kept falling that one time, right?
No, I only got that this week. That one.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so we're doing a racing showcase with a bunch of races and just showing what they can do. We're doing the grand finals of our Fight or Flight live there as well. There's like a meet and greet with Chris. There's a dev panel. I don't know who's on the dev panel, but there is a dev panel as well. So it's going to be really, really cool. So genuinely, if you're coming to Citizencon, after you have a terrible time at Citizencon, come have a good time over at Enter Atmosphere.
Yeah, so that'll be cool, but I'm going to be dead by that point.
Yep. Yeah, especially if you're waking up at we're starting at like 3 a.m.
Starting at 2 a.m. What time am I waking up, right? So I have to at least have the crust off my eyes before I start. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one. So I don't know. I think we have shared what our thoughts could be, and I think it's probably good to go to callers now. We have been live for.
We should just quickly touch on the addles. So Xylo posted, I believe, on Spectrum, saying that the addles will be available for purchase in-game in 324.2. Cool. It still should have been just in-game right off the bat. You've done like the second best thing, but it's still
communicated
bad.
this. Yeah.
I'm
glad you say that too, because I thought I was going to be the only one like taking the no, like this is still bad, like this is like I'm not going to clap for you here, right? Like just like how many times have we told you to do better and you still do bad? But yeah, so I'm so whatever about it, but I'll buy the paints now and then that'll be that. And I don't know. I that one bothers me. That one bothers me because it's always after the fact. It's always after we get mad. Yeah. How do you not know, It's because they don't care. It's like, all right, we made our million or whatever, 1.5, whatever it was. And then, go buy it in game now. There you go. Now you can melt it. It's silly. So with that, what do you say? Caller time?
Yeah. Did we get any questions for the show ready today?
No.
All good.
I figured it would be super caller heavy, to be honest. And if you look at the waiting room, it's crazy. I haven't kept up with it, so I'm just throwing people in, and we'll keep it pretty short. So keep it tight, guys. So let's try to get everybody that's in the list now. We'll try to get you guys in. Okay. Yep. First caller is.
SpaceMonkeyBusiness.
Oh my god, guys. How are you doing?
Hello.
Still very tired, but Mike has given me energy.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Nice.
5 minutes, so I will keep it short. For the first panel, maybe to add one prediction would be maybe procedural generation of missions, but as far as they don't tell us what a 1.0 will be, I think it's hard to guess if it's more of a sandbox or is it more like mission driven.
No mission devs at
Yeah.
Citizencon on stage this year.
Okay.
Interesting. I mean, like what panel would I put them in as well? Like
none. What could you put them
maybe
in?
Brave New Worlds? That's the only one that I can think that maybe could be a little to do with it. So,
but hey, when you fill the stuff with procedural generation of, I don't know, life forms and stuff, maybe also procedural generation of missions. But let's see. For the second panel, I thought about when you say personal one-on-one interaction, I thought about we don't have like trading of like items. So I cannot go to another player and hey, let's trade that gun you have. So maybe this could also be a fair take on that.
I think so. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, that's like I kind of was like, all right, when you talk to me about the economy stuff or the industry stuff, how does that apply to Brave New Worlds? Where am I finding this stuff? How does it apply to Social Universe? You know, and maybe even the Dress to Kill.
How do we trade? Do we get after that? I don't expect for this maybe an interface for player-to-player trading and creating missions out of inventories. Let's see. Dress to Kill. Don't really care about this. Besides
I think you should.
Stuff you mentioned already.
Yeah, a lot of exactly. I think a lot of people sort of threw this off as it sounding like it's just a like costumes presentation, like an art costumes presentation. But the reading of it really sounds like it's more like, why are you wearing these particular items and what is it doing for you? You know.
Yeah, let's see. I'm open to it, but I'm not so hyper focused on it. Let's see.
Also, I do love that they're running it right after the cosplay competition. I do think that's great.
True, that is funny.
That's true. That's a good timing. That's true. Beyond Pyro, I also expect Nix to see. I also would say Odin could be a good take because if they say they implement the Eththos and all the variants into the PU after Squadron 42 drops, why not do the system as well, even if there will be more work to...
Correct me if I'm wrong, Odin is supposed to be the system that, like the main system that Squadron takes place in, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
First, I think they start with Vega and this stuff we've seen at the beginning, and then they shift over to Odin for the story.
I think it's certainly possible. That would also be another good way for them to, kind of like I was mentioning, go from Beyond Pyro into Squadron 42. Is like, by the way, you know, here's these worlds in Squadron. And anyway, let's go into the Squadron demo, you know?
Yeah. And for another system, I mean, they probably work on one of the other systems surrounding either Pyro or Stanton. I think for their base building stuff, if they want to implement like 3 examples for high sec, low sec, no sec.
Yep.
I also would bet on Terra, but as you said, it is gigantic, and the amount of stuff you have to put in is.
I think they'll do like
such a colossal task.
I think they'll just do the 2019-ish, 2018. Like we jumped there. Ooh, there it is, very far away. Look at it over there. You can see it, but you can't go.
Like they could also do. They could do super
concept.
Basic stuff, right? They could just show the planet tech and that's it. Like no locations, no drop zones or anything like that.
Then for the other panel, revisit a classic. Here's another take. Maybe they show, if they had time to do it, I don't know. I guess not the Origin 600i rework, because that's what it's still open. And I don't know if it's a classic. It doesn't fit really the industry topic of the panel, but... and the 1.0 stuff is, I think it's basically answering a vital question from the community. What is Star Citizen? I mean, it's like, we don't even know. Maybe they know now. It will be the result of their brain power for the last year, thinking about what do we really want. And I'm excited for the answer. Maybe I like it, maybe I don't. Let's see.
Yeah.
Regardless, I feel like it would be it would be untypical of Star Citizen of CRG to not somehow spin it to be positive regardless. Like, I think everyone will come away from it happy, and then kind of like what Mike's always saying, it's really going to come into being with like the next few months, and if any of that scope changes or ideas change. Yeah.
And we won't know. The worst part is we won't know if it changes, most likely.
Yeah.
So it's just like...
But believe the intention, don't believe the timeline.
or even the features. Like in some cases, right? So it's a little weird, it's a little goofy, but I think it needs to be done. So it's like, that's my mental juggling that I'm doing with it. But all right, Space. I would say make your last ones, because
two short ones. A dark horse, because I don't know if you have seen what they did with the Reclaimer. Have you seen it?
No.
If you press the button to open all doors, there is now a drone room that is opening. So maybe we see something about drones.
Actually, I do want one copium take from every caller, actually.
Yeah,
so
that's my copium take.
Keep that theme going.
Leave my copium take.
You can make fuses as well now.
That's true, yeah. Craft fuses.
I mean, but we have crafting, so it's crafting. And the
what
last
panel do you think the drones would be on, just really quickly?
1.0.
I would also say 1.0.
Yeah. Drones will be just like a thing on the list.
Yeah.
Last thing, I don't know if you want to take callers for your Citizencon show, Mike.
Probably, but we'll see.
Yeah, don't forget to work on the Discord timeout stuff, because, like I mentioned before, we got kicked out after a time.
Will do.
I don't know.
Will do.
That's it.
I'll write it down. Actually, I'll grab my phone and I'll write it in mod chat so we don't screw it up. Good mention. All right, Space. We'll let you go, brother.
Yep. See you.
Bye now.
Good one. Catch you around.
All right, that was SpaceMonkeyBusiness, and we're gonna bring in PunjiStik.
PunjiStik, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Fantastic. So, what do you think about Citizencon and/or 4.0?
Well, you guys actually stole a fair bit of my thunder on the 1.0 stuff, because I'd made this note before they'd announced that 1.0 would be a panel itself. But like you said, there's no way that they can announce anything 1.0 without engaging the internet outrage machine.
Yeah.
They're not gonna like clarify something enough for everyone's liking, and they're not gonna have anyone on standby ready to actually start addressing concerns and questions.
Well, it's not even just that. It's, I think, just personally, I've been saying this a lot on the show over the years, is people are quickly going to find out that the idea they had in their head of what Star Citizen is going to be is not the idea that Chris Roberts or Richard Tyrer have, because we're all individuals, and that's going to be a thing. So,
not to mention, CIG are trying to appeal to a very wide audience, and that means you can't go super deep in depth every mechanic. Otherwise, everyone's gonna, like the vast majority of players are gonna start hating it, right? So, even right now, and for like at least forever since I've been playing, a group has always been mad about any change because it's affecting them, even though arguably with the vast majority of changes, everyone's experience got a little better.
Yeah.
Agreed. And then the other prediction I had is only on here because it's a terrible idea, and CIG is prone to doing terrible ideas. Like the whole Soulsinger thing, I think that they will mention it, and that might be where it's revealed where Tony Z's been this whole time, because he's been MIA for what, 2-3 years?
Could be, but
so you think that Soulsinger is some piece of tech?
It's either some piece of tech or it's a whole new project entirely. And again, this is only on there because it's a terrible idea.
Fair enough.
Fair. I also do like the idea of Tony Z being the return of the legendary friend from Citizencon's past, because I think the last time he was public was at a Citizencon.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, it was quite a while ago.
Like the few people that like have like commented on if Tony Z is still employed with CIG have said, I just don't think they've said like what role he's still employed with them as.
Yep.
Mm.
It certainly isn't a camera-facing role. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know. Anything else? Because I popped in and we have the details of the test tonight, so I grabbed those.
Same.
No. That was like I said, only had the 2 things, and one of
Perfect.
them has already been covered before. So thank you for having me on.
Fair enough. Thank you for coming on,
No worries.
PunjiStik.
Thanks for calling.
All right, man. Talk to you.
Yep.
Have a
Yep,
good
see
one.
ya.
All right. So before we go to Riley, there is a bit of, and actually, I think some people popped out because their things were said. Yeah, you're right. There's a global event going on.
Yeah.
Save Stanton.
Ooh.
Again, for the millionth time, I guess.
Phases of an event, though. So this
Yeah,
is
it sounds
presumably
Overdrive.
basically, it's like Overdrive, right?
Yeah, it
it's
sounds
probably
Overdrive-like.
Yeah. So cool.
Which we
I
loved.
like
So
Overdrive.
more
Yeah.
Overdrive, right? I liked it, but I just don't get mad at me for being annoyed by this. It's Sunday. I'm tired, bro. I'm tired, and it's just like this thing where Weekend Review has kind of become a staple, and I feel obligated that I always have to be on top of it, and I just don't want to be today. Like, I'm tired, and that's all this is. Like, I'm so frustrated by this, and that's the only reason why I'm frustrated. Nothing else. I'm tired.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's very
my
funny.
God.
All the CIG devs are working overtime, and the players are the ones. It's like, guys, stop, please.
Yeah,
it's
please.
Too much. I
I'm
don't want to do all
tired.
this.
That's literally what it is. But yeah, so they're going through the phases, but I've only scrolled through and seen known issues for the phases. We don't know much else about the details of them. So
Yeah.
phase 2, it says missions cargo delivery. It's hit or miss.
Mhm.
And workaround, just play mission A or something. Okay. Phase 2,
Yep.
there's workarounds. Phase 3. So we're going to get 3 or 4, and that's all we have. So we don't know the details on it too much. I'm sure we'll get patch notes later today, but we have an idea of what this is, I guess. It's another Save Stanton from Xeno threat, and I don't know what fancy new ship ticket are you going to get in this one, you know? It's like,
I will
do you
say
think
this
they'll
sounds
learn their
like
lesson? That's my thought here. Is it going to be the same bullshit or no?
Depends. How much money did they make last time?
Exactly.
I will say a positive that I am kind of excited by. Literally, just even reading just this small bit. The Overdrive event was the precursor to 323, right? It was this is the launch. I think it was 323. I'm fairly sure because then
Precursor
Xeno came out 323 and it was terrible.
Precursor
it was
to, to Xeno threat, really, right?
Yeah, but Xeno Threat was an event that happened right at the beginning of 323, and the entirety of Overdrive was just before the patch, right? So it's a we've talked about before. It's a
patch
event. My brain.
We're at the end of this. We're going to go into 4.0.
That's what this feels like. Well, no, sorry, we'll go into 324.3, but
yeah, probably.
It feels like that. Obviously, still early testing. We'll see what the actual mission is, but that's what this reads like to me.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. But that's a thing now. So okay, but we'll go to our next callers and continue on with that. We got Riley coming up. Riley,
how you doing?
Hello, can you hear us, Riley?
Yep.
Oh, Riley, you are in a fishbowl, so we'll see how long this call lasts. I don't know how we'll be able to hear you, but we will give you the chance for as long as we can, okay?
Does it sound better here?
Yes, much better.
Yeah.
I guess Citizencon looks like it could be fun this year, especially with Brave New World, because the world generation could mean they speed up how fast we get systems rather than waiting 8 years for Pyro.
Sure.
Important to note, there is precedence for that, exactly what you're saying, which is that, once again, like 3 years ago, they showed us all the planet tech for Nyx, and then the blocker was server meshing. So it's basically, is the blocker still server meshing, right?
Yeah, because if the server meshing works perfectly, then you can start, in theory, putting out systems like once every 2 or 3 years, and as long as that it all works together. So hopefully that might be something they show off. And then base building, I don't expect them to show anything larger than like a home or anything like that. I don't think we're going to end up seeing anything like the Pioneer. Sorry, Mike.
I mean, yeah,
I think.
fair.
Well, I think they'll show the Pioneer in some respects. It's
They
the
showed it
base
last year,
building
bro.
ship.
They showed it
Exactly,
last year.
right? We'll at the very least see like the concept images pop up on the panel. Again.
There's a good chance that's what, if we see it, that's what we see. And I think what he means by we won't see the Pioneer as in it won't be working.
Won't be the rework or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and I imagine the ship. I do think it will be the Connie for the classic ship that they plan to show in the.
It's not a bad guess.
Because it might.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they have been hinting at it getting reworked to make it up to date. Because apparently
God,
they
it
just.
needs it.
Yeah, apparently they just have not enough ships on backlog that they need to make.
Yeah,
I
they
guess
need to
just wanna
redo
keep
the
it
Connie
down.
for the 4th time.
Yeah. There's not, 50 ships on the concept board that just haven't been touched in 5 years. It's fine.
But what if, since they're calling it a classic, what if they do the Hornet thing to it?
Yeah, I was just gonna say Constellation V2 Mark II. Let's
Yeah.
go.
And that's what this whole event is. Oh my God, they just F7A Mark II'd us, dude, and we didn't even know it.
Star Citizen Mark II. Let's go.
Yeah, but what mark is it? Is it 6 or 7? Like there, because the Connie's on Mark 7, like Duo Decillion.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. It's been a lot of them.
Yeah, and I mean, the panel being only an hour and 15 minutes, it's a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing in the fact that hopefully they're not trying to show off more concept ships that they're trying to sell people that they won't have done in like the next 3 years.
Yeah. Keep in mind, 15 minutes or so
opposite.
between panels, by the way. So when you look at the times, they're not going to go back to back.
Yeah, I actually will fight that though. I think it leads more to it being concept ships because there's usually less to show, so you can go through that faster.
That's true. And I think there's only 2 ships now that from last year that haven't been shown off publicly, at least the Guardian and something else.
I don't even know what the Guardian is, so that's leaking.
It's the Fat Fury, the big Fat Fury. People have been calling it the Guardian, but it's just the Fat Fury. And then they also did show a bunch of the the hacking one.
Well, they told us that we won't see the hacking one this year, like a little while ago, right? So yeah, those are the 2 we missed.
And then there's one like ship that's Zeus-ish, but not quite, and it's like bigger that hasn't really been touched. No, it's not the Galaxy. People are saying it's the Crusader starter, which could be the case, whatever it is, but it's there hasn't been like any information on that really.
Yeah, so, I hate ship sales, but I still like to be surprised by ships. Is that weird?
It's because ships are cool, Mike, and that's fine. You're allowed to be excited. I get so annoyed.
Like I didn't know there was a Crusader starter. Come on, guys. So annoying.
Mike's like, oh man, I really hate when Sig does this. And then he's like, oh man, I can't wait for this new ship that he showed off yesterday.
Yeah, I know. I just want to be like, I just want to open something and not know what it is. Like, do you know how much it annoyed me that I had to make that video? Like, I felt like I had to make that video yesterday for like my Evo experience. I don't want to do that because I just ruined it for people. But they wanted to hear it. They had to hear it, And it's like.
Meanwhile, I did want to make that.
Yeah, and you couldn't.
You got opposite sides of the coin right here. Good God.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, are they gonna? Is the Ironclad gonna be worked on and like part of the schedule in the industry panel?
Ooh, that could be big actually. Yeah. If it's like started getting worked on.
Yeah, sorry if I ruined any other callers. Sorry.
They're like, oh, that was my idea.
That was mine. Oh, somebody left. No, just kidding.
But you guys don't seem well. At least Mike doesn't seem that excited for 1.0. But I'm hopeful for it because I really hope they put on display that PvP is going to be part of the game because there's a desperately large amount of people that think it's not for some reason.
Because they're
stupid. And they're mad every time they get ganked.
I will say there is a reason. It's because it doesn't happen often enough to make it feel like it's part of the game. right? But I agree, PvP should be part of the game. Of course it should. Risk is important, especially in a multiplayer game where you want to interact with people. But in live, it just never has happened. Like if you do nothing but industry and mining, like I often do, it just does not happen often enough for you to even remember that it's a part of the game.
Yeah.
That is a server meshing issue, right? That is a player count issue. It is a population issue. So I still agree with you. I do hope they talk more about that. And I think
and it's a
with
community
them doing
mentality
social
issue.
universe, yeah.
It's a community
That's true,
mentality
yeah.
issue due to the reasons that you said, and now hopefully people will be able to use this panel and be like, "No, shut up! Like this is good for the game, and this is why it is. And if you don't like it, go play another game." Like those people have been telling everybody for years, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
there you go.
I got told at Brio's Breaker Yard for bringing like a whole sea worth of maze. I can't figure out why.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. But all right, Raleigh. I don't want to take because we talked a little bit, so I want to give you a little bit more time. But one more thing.
I just have one more thing to finish.
Yeah, go for it.
Liamo Esports, I hope they push the patch that fucks up acceleration of the ships, just so they're on a completely different patch to how they played, because I think that'd be hilariously funny watching them crash.
My information is we will be on an old patch because that's what everyone's been practicing on, and that would be shit if we're not. We're basically on live.
Yeah, he's saying it would just be funny to watch them struggle.
It's true. It would be funny.
My information from the players participating is that there's going to be a server dedicated just for that on one of the patches that they qualified.
Okay.
Pretty much, yeah.
All right. Well, all right, Raleigh. We'll let you go, brother.
Yeah. Thank you for answering my call.
Of course. Hey.
Easy. Have a good one.
Hey, that was cool.
He said the thing.
He said the thing. All right. Next caller is Treasend. Treasend, you are muted still, so hopefully you are hearing us now and muting the stream.
Oh,
and unmuting
sorry.
your mic.
I got to mute the stream because I was getting a massive echo.
There you go. Figured.
Sorry about that.
Good.
Literally gave me a heart attack just then.
I tried to ease it in.
Yeah, so,
you heard me.
Yeah, I know. So you were talking about people not getting pirated when they're doing like resource extracting kind of gameplay and stuff.
Yeah.
Just a
It
second
doesn't
ago.
happen very often. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Often
I've
enough.
had that once, and like I got pulled out of Quantum, so I thought it was like
an
clearly
NPC?
like must be bots or something. Yeah. And then it was these two guys outside of their ship, so I just like shot them with the what's it called? My brain's locking up.
Like your mining laser?
Prospector. Yeah, I shot them with the prospector. And then I was like, oh, this isn't working, and I just flew away. So
nice.
That's the extent of PvP.
In the server meshing test, I did a bounty with the prospector miner laser.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
It just didn't work at all, so I was just like, oh well, I'm leaving.
Yep.
But I had a sort of like mini game in mind. I call it Cope or Nope.
Okay.
So I've got a couple questions. All I want to know is if you guys think it's Cope, like you would go, this is my copium, like I want this. Or if you're like, no, that would be shit.
Okay.
So
okay.
I was looking at some stuff, and I got, first one is, on one of the old panels it said the Orion was coming in 4.0.
Oh, like, yeah, like
the 2016 panel. Yeah. Cope.
So is it going to be there?
Cope. Pure Cope. Do I want it? Wait, Cope is like it's not possible.
Cope is you want it. Nope is like, no, you don't want it.
Well, I want it. Of course I want it.
Yeah. Cope, of course.
No, like, I don't want it. I don't want it. All the big ships, all the stuff that like the gameplay isn't done for, I don't want them doing it anymore. They fucked up cargo so bad and like all these other things because they did everything before the gameplay was actually there. I don't want the Arastra. I don't want any mining ships. I don't want any more salvage ships. And like I keep hearing people saying that that's probably going to happen, which is lame. And like I want them to do the gameplay first, so they know what the ship should work like. Yeah. So I say nope.
Okay.
I think I say Cope, but anytime you're also thinking about like these types of ships coming out, it is very uncommon for them to do work on a ship that they've already announced and not talk about it, because it usually gums up like so much hype.
Yeah.
Obviously,
True,
they're
they
doing
can't
it this
shut up.
time. In the Captains of Industry, they literally say revisit a classic. So maybe that style has changed. But
Yeah.
I reckon the classic is probably that guy that used to give missions. That weird guy in the bar. But my other one is, so the reward for doing those weird like missions at the stations, is that just going to be a weaponized Atlas platform? Like, you reckon that's what they'll show or no?
Cope, I want that.
don't know
I want an Atlas with guns.
yeah, I want the hell out of that.
That'd be sick.
I will say I don't think that's what the reward will be, but I do think we'll see that. I think we'll see the addles somewhere, like variants of the addles somewhere over the course of the 2 days.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I've got land claims being sold again because they're showing off base building.
I don't want it, but it's gonna happen.
Yeah, no. I don't know
That's
if it
definitely
will.
going to happen, I reckon.
I don't know if it will.
Bro.
The Pioneer,
Bro.
like they might put the Pioneer back on sale, and that's how you get a land claim. I don't think they'll sell individual land claims again.
Okay, I just have one last one. So Port Olisar is coming back.
Nope.
Gonna show it off.
Revisit a classic.
Oh, yeah, but it's not a ship.
No, it doesn't have to be a ship. It could just be Port Olisar, and that's what we build, Mike. That's one of the things. That's one of the homes that you build is PO.
Holy guys, call paramedics. He is overdosing on cope. Call the paramedics. That's a huge nope. I want to see it back as a derelict. I don't want to see it back as a new station. Personally.
Yeah, it'd be nice just to be a ruin that you can visit.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll bring back the hangar module, and that's all we'll have for the next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
That's the classic. While they build 1.0.
Yep.
Just
that's
hangar
the
module
classic.
to 1.0.
Yeah. Do you have any more?
Anyway, that's all I really have.
That's it?
No, that's all I really
That was really
had,
fun.
yeah.
That was really
that's
fun.
a good segment.
Yeah, man.
Love that.
Thanks, Treasend.
Oh yeah, cheers, man.
All right. Talk to you
Pretty
soon.
fun.
See ya.
Bye. Now all the other callers have to end up being that good. I don't know if they'll be able to. Eththos,
How you doing?
welcome.
Hey, how we doing, guys?
Good.
Pretty
You have to
good.
You have to come after that. That's tough.
Oh, I know that was really fun. I was enjoying that a lot. So
Yeah.
I was like, "Damn, it's over." Fuck.
So now we're going to be doing scope or dope. Will they be increasing the scope? Oh no. Anyway.
Yes.
Well, gentlemen, you're gonna have to hold me back here because I am getting excited about Star Citizen again. It's getting rough. I'm back
It's
in the hope.
time of the year.
It really is. You know, yeah, I'm feeling it all come back. So
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
to
It's happening.
Tim-
I don't,
No.
just to jump in real quick, I don't normally do this ever. I think this is pretty cringe. There are, between the live stream on Twitch and the live stream on YouTube, 1,500 people watching. The last time there was a Citizencon in the United States, that's how many people were watching me that day.
Yeah.
Like, the hype is actually
The
real.
hype is huge.
Yeah.
oh man, it's so massive. Maybe to help tamp it down. We talk about 4.0 a little bit. I did want to ask, like, for you guys, was it jankier than like typical Evo, or was it like pretty much like you've seen Evo patches that bad?
It is
What,
the same
this one?
experience I've had with the last 2 Evo patches.
Yeah, like his was jank. Mine was better. Mine was much better than jank. And considering that it also involved pyro, it was even less jank than I expected it to be.
Well, that's not helping a lot on my hype here. I'm getting a little more excited.
But dude, it was missing, like, it was super old. It was missing tons of stuff. Like,
Right.
yeah, like I was
And
in
the-
pyro. Like
It's-
visually, it's again, it's Red Stanton. There's a lot of things. You want me to lower your hype? It's Red Stanton, bro. It's still Red Stanton. There's some cool stuff there, but it's still Red Stanton. It's still, the game isn't built yet. So there you go.
Yeah.
I can lower your hype very easily.
Until you see a test patch where people are spending multiple hours doing missions in both systems, like across systems.
Yeah, like
Right
there's
now,
nothing
the
that
takeaway
connects
is,
them.
like-
The jump point,
Exactly.
obviously, but yeah.
Exactly. Right now, the takeaway is just how did the jump points perform? How did server meshing perform? Right.
Yeah.
That's the two big ones.
And those things were great. So yeah, copium on that. But the actual game was not in that test, right? So
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah, and the other thing I think I heard 10#42 talking about was like Bloom was completely shrouded in darkness. Like it was there, but you couldn't see anything that was going on. Like you cannot tell me that QA didn't like just miss the whole planet. You know what I mean?
No,
Like that,
that's been
they
in
must have rushed it.
That's been in. No, it's not rushed. It's just old. They're using an old platform of the test preview. That has happened in prior test preview tests where you go to a planet and it's a black hole. Yeah, this is like not a new thing at all. So I think people were expecting them to be testing 4.0. You were not testing 4.0. You were testing the tech for 4.0.
Yeah. Also important to know, like, you will encounter things like that are just bugs that it's not worth them fixing for the test.
Mm-hmm.
So,
All right, yeah. Well, no, I think that's definitely interesting. I heard asteroid bases were cool though, so that's something I guess.
10#42 went there. I did not, so I did not see them. I only stayed at Checkmate and did jump points. So if you
I
check
have
out his
some
video
stuff
if you
from
haven't yet.
I have some stuff from EchoBit. She messaged me some stuff, and like Ruin Station, like there's. I don't want to spoil stuff, but there are a bunch of new locations that are in there that you could have gone to in the test.
Yeah,
cool.
But I'm not going to try to spoil anything.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't see 4.0 being a thing until I think Reputation, which so far off the board right now, like that's going to be a big one for making it not Red Stanton. I think that's like the whole thing that makes it different is this like interplay between the gangs. So
exactly.
I don't know if we'll see that. But.
And hopefully the systems, interplay between the systems. Why am I here?
Yeah.
Why do I want to go there? You know, that kind of stuff.
Which, speaking of, where would you think? I imagine Reputation will get touched on probably a few times during Citizencon. Where do you think we'll probably?
I don't think it
about
is, and I think it's the.
You don't think so?
I think it's like one of the things to point out that it's like a kind of glaring omission. Maybe in the social one, but I don't know, man. I think they're less focused. Like not seeing the mission people there means they're less focused on them crafting the gameplay for us, and hopefully them giving the tools for us to do it ourselves. Where we're the gameplay, the interactions between each other, the building of things together, the building of things for each other, that kind of thing. That seems to be the theme of the episode. So how does Reputation really play into that? I don't think it does. I think it's omitted for a good reason and not a bad one.
Okay.
Is that fair, I guess?
Yeah, no, I also agree. I think that's what we're sorely lacking. Yeah, we have missions, right? They don't necessarily mean anything, but the sandbox elements, I think, are what's really going to make it like MMO, you know, like player organized content and all the things that affect that.
Yeah, for sure. Anything else? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, just last thing, I'm excited about Save Stanton. I don't care about whatever reward they're giving out. Me and my buddies had a good time with Overdrive. We had a fun time. We just enjoyed the missions.
The reward. I just hope it's not an evil one like the last one was, and I hope it's and that's all, right? But I absolutely less because it took away from how much enjoyment I actually did have with Overdrive, right? I really did enjoy logging in every week to do the event. So and that's where I'll keep that one.
It was like a sour note on something that was mostly good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I totally agreed. Well, it was good talking to you, lads. First time caller, long time listener. It was a good time.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Appreciate you calling in and the support.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, peace.
Talk to you soon.
Have a good one.
All right, and then Watchdogfl. Are hopefully you're safe from the storm and everything. If FL stands for Florida. I don't know if you can hear us.
You there, Watchdog? You are muted at the moment.
Didn't know I had to manually unmute. Sorry about that.
Yeah, we got to fix that. I don't know why that's a thing.
But I am safe. I'm not in Florida. I'm just from down there. Grew up in South Florida a long time ago.
Oh, fair enough.
Gotcha. All right, cool. So we were neighbors, maybe at some point. Probably not.
Probably not. No. Last time I was living in Florida was in '97.
Nope, definitely not. I was in high school.
I was 3 years old.
Yeah.
I'm older than that then. I was in college in '97. But yeah, so two things. Hey, first, Croncy, thank you for putting up with Salty once a week. It helps kind of soften him up a little bit for the next week. I think it's like a recharge to give him a little joy going into the new week. It's great. Salty, love listening to you all the time. I got two things. I don't know if you'll let me talk the second one, but we'll go to the first one because it's quick. I think the classic getting revisited, my guess and my hope, because I am an owner, is a Carrick. And I think because it's well overdue for a polish pass,
Yeah.
and it's already got the space and components planned in it to do crafting and building, and it's an exploration ship. You want to land somewhere, you minimum should be able to build a small outpost, leave
Didn't it
it
do
there,
component
and then leave and go
repair?
get more.
It's got like a component repair station or something in it, right?
It's got a drone bay. The top section has a whole drone bay that
Yeah.
would be able to do all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it would be a reasonable ship to we this year had the Retaliator rework to be working with modules. I think the Carrick would be another a good one to go to next to do the exact same thing for. So yeah, I don't hate that take.
No.
So the other one is probably a little bit more it's going to fire off a few people, but here why I think we're like 2 years away from 1.0. And not 1.0 live, but 1.0 almost ready to be released. Like where they announced they were with Squadron last year. And it's because, well, for my part, I was definitely on the crew that said we're not getting Evo 4.0 until January or February, right? So the fact that it's out now, the fact that it's much further ahead in the curve tech-wise where I thought it was, and they got to, like you were saying, once they got to throw all the code at it from 4.0, we'll see how it handles it.
Yeah.
But if that foundational system gets in place, and I start thinking about what's missing to round out the game, other than like from actual core tech, I'm thinking, all right, so we need bounty hunting, physicalized bounty hunting, because just flying around blowing up ships, not there. Crafting and building, obviously, they're already talking about that. We need org and or player-owned corporation type mechanics that allow us to do banking and group banking and sharing of ships and stuff. Some people might say atmospheric flight. I don't think that's a 1.0 thing. I don't think we need that for 1.0. It's a nice to have, but I don't think it's needed. So then if we're looking at, then they're just polishing those new technologies on top of, or starting up those new technologies on top of server meshing. And then you've got 2 years to polish economy and trading, rearm, refuel, repair, the security dynamics. And then the one big thing that's missing to liven up the world, other than more Boyds, right, is the narrative stuff, the story stuff. And what I think we're seeing the beginnings of is that AI is where that would take years to develop for most games, like Larian Studios and Baldur's Gate 3, they had to write all that script and everything. To liven up the world, you can just have those NPCs, a lot of them be just driven by AI that just looks at what's going on in the world.
Maybe, and that'll piss people off, obviously. But
probably.
The only thing that I would like to point out is, will 1.0 be called an alpha? Will it be called a beta? Will it be called a launch?
An early access?
So the level of polish that you're bringing up may not be a thing. Still.
Yeah, I think it'll be 1.0
which would
alpha,
be insane.
And then yeah, I think it'll be 1.0 alpha, and then we'll have like 6 months to a year of polish on top of that, and then it goes live. And hopefully they're building some stuff in the back.
So you mean
when
like
they go live?
Yeah, like a traditional alpha or beta, like an actual.
Sorry,
so
it'll be like 1.0 beta. Yeah, so they'll go beta. They'll say, here's what it is. They'll still be developing some stuff in the background for more content to go live with, like maybe new systems. But the mechanics, the technology will be kind of locked down for that 6 months to a year while they polish it out. And then they go launch it with whatever pricing structure or subscription patch they want.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
That was it, guys. I appreciate you letting me talk.
Yeah, for sure.
Of course, and
anytime.
Hopefully the Carrick. I wouldn't hate it. Yeah.
It'd be a good
I think
one.
the Carrick would be awesome. Perfect fit.
Yep.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Awesome.
Have a good one.
Cheers,
Bye
Watchdog.
All right, we're going to bring in Certified Gumbo, another regular now for sure.
Yep.
What's up, bro?
How you doing, Gumbo?
Good. All right. I think I'm all right. Yeah. Y'all are muted. Cool. Stream. All right. So, Citizencon is here. I'm going to be traveling on Saturday, so I probably will miss the live stream. But
are you going or just traveling in general?
No, I've got some real life things I got going on.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so things that stand out for me from I'm gonna go over the list here. The social universe, obviously, that was a big one for me because big questions around social gameplay and reducing the amount of friction required to group up with other players and
Mhm.
organize as an org? Like, what are they going to do to make that easier so that can actually be a multiplayer game and eventually an MMO? But
Mhm.
like, the multiplayer aspect is so tedious that I just want to know, how are they going to make it so that grouping is just as simple, if not more so, than playing solo? Because
Yeah.
like, how are they going to entice that? How are they going to allow people to, even if they aren't in an org, find other players easily to group with? Like,
Yeah.
that's what I need to know. That I hope that that's what's in that panel.
It'll always be a
Yeah.
little bit more complicated, but not it just can't be as bad as it is right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's the higher you go, the more players you add, obviously, just like any other MMO. But like, for an MMO, getting a group of 1 to 4 players is usually easy. Like, that doesn't take
A lot of
much
them have
effort at all.
fast travel. That's
They
the
have
big
fast
problem here.
travel. They've got
A lot of
like,
them also have like LFG systems, right?
yeah,
Like, so literally
you
just say,
just
I
queue
want to
up.
do this mission, guys, who wants to join me? And,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
you just press a button, right?
And it could be that simple. Like, hey, we're going to enter
Yeah.
a queue. You set the parameters. Like, hey, like, you got to have this level of rep with Crusader security or whoever, whatever. I don't. I'll let them outline the details, but there's clearly this problem has been solved a million times. It's just a
Yeah.
matter of CIG just telling us how
Recognizing
they're
it.
going to go about it.
Yeah.
It's also something I feel like, yeah, CIG, once again, ever since I've joined at least, CIG have never really touched on this stuff. It's always seemed like something that was like way in the future.
Yeah, they just fix
for
party
them to even
markers pretty
concept.
much.
Yeah,
Occasionally.
right. So I'm really curious to see what they want it to be like. If they do want it to be a more active social thing that you do have to kind of seek people out, which I think would be a bad idea. I think with this sort of stuff, you always want to make it as easy as possible. And also like what that content looks like. Like, it's important to point that they do point out, massive gatherings with hundreds and even thousands of players, right? Fleet battles, whatever it might be. What will that actually look like, and what are you guys going to do to make it enjoyable?
Right. Agreed. Next thing, I think Brave New Worlds and Beyond Pyro go hand in hand.
Yeah.
I want to see, with the Brave New Worlds panel, them take that machine learning tech that they went over briefly last year and demonstrate. It doesn't have to be a live demonstration, but like, demonstrate them creating a planet and a moon with that tech. Because like, one thing that they've always talked about is biome diversity being an issue, and then also object scattering for like resources and resource nodes and things
rocks.
Populating the planet with, or can they use this to create spawn closets? Like, can they, like, things that make the game world feel like a game world, so they don't have to spend like an eon creating star systems? Like, can they execute this in a way where they can create a star system in a reasonable amount of time and then just focus on what are the gameplay aspects that go into that star system that we're going to like experience? Because one thing I would like them to do is, obviously we need high populated areas, but a lot of the old game design where it was just sparse, like, we need that, especially if we're going to have base building. Like, I would like to have like the majority of the systems have like maybe 1 or 2 major landing zones, and then the rest be pretty vacant and empty, which will allow players to go in and
Be for
do the
us.
base building thing. I think that's a winning like solution for the game. So that's that. And then actually, Croncy, I have a question before I get to my next point. How many people are participating in the Atmo, like players, like head count? Is it like 15?
So
20?
yeah, that's all been posted. So we've got 6 racers doing our racer like show off. It's kind of a championship, but it was like an invite only event. And then we also have our Fight or Flight's actual like grand finals championship. So I think in total in total it's like 16 to 20. I'd have to count elsewhere, but it's something around that.
Okay, because the reason I ask is like a while ago, this was like early to mid August. The Nubifier tweeted that he was in Germany helping Monster Tech build rigs for Citizencon. And so like that's either for I guess the Atmo thing, or it's for what we anticipate will be a Squadron 42 demo on day one. Like because
I mean, Croncy still thinks it's under the thing.
I do think there's still a demo, but I think the thing that you're talking about might actually be the sim pits, the 2 sim pits that they added to the map this week.
On there, yeah, because it's like that August that's quite a lead time for October. So like he probably I'm assuming that is part of what he helped for too. But there's also the matter of like they have VKB and Monster Tech there as sponsors, so they're probably going to have
August is Gamescom, no? Maybe that's why he's out there at that time too. So pretty sure August is Gamescom.
He was there for Gamescom, but he also
there you go
said that he got a tour of Monster Tech while he was out there, and then helped them build rigs for Citizencon.
Yeah. 2 birds with 1 stone is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
go to the con and help out with something, and they'll mail it there later, kind of thing.
Yeah,
but definitely. I see your point.
And I mean that's a lot of time. 5:30 to 9 o'clock. There's a lot of time for obviously a showcase of sport, and then enough time because I think that's what they did with Pyro last year. There was plenty of time for people to go in and play it after all the demonstrations.
Yeah.
And then 2, I guess. Well, the other thing.
Make this your last thing. Make this your last because we've been going a while.
I got you. I don't know if anybody has brought up the Endeavor as a possibility, but that would be my copium take for the.
Oh my god, that's insanely cope. Yeah,
because it's like that and the Pioneer. I think the Pioneer is the obvious choice because of it having its base building capabilities, but the Endeavor is like the Giga Chad modular ship, so I could totally see them having some base building modules.
Yeah, I mean, as well as like the Endeavor is like also a crafting-ish, like it is a home base itself, right? It's got like the biodomes and like it's got the hangar modules and stuff. So like, if they do show a concept ship, I don't think it's that cope that it could be the Endeavor, but I think it's cope at all.
But they've already shown the Endeavor as a concept ship, so again.
Well, the same thing with the Pioneer.
Yeah, same thing with Pioneer. But
I see. Okay.
No.
The Pioneer 2 was teased last year with the base building, so like it makes sense for it to be the Pioneer in my mind because it is also a classic. But that's it. That's
okay.
It.
Wow.
Was
ending
for the 4.0 test yesterday. So
ending on some cope.
That's what I want. More cope.
Hey, Croncy said we all have to have a cope take.
Yeah, everyone needs a copium take.
That was your copium take for sure.
That was mine.
All right, Gumbo.
All right, good luck, everybody.
Be good, man.
The Citcon next week and the streams
and enjoy it when you do get to watch it.
Yeah, for sure. Looking forward to it.
All right, man. Catch you.
Awesome. Cheers, mate.
Bye.
Later.
All right, and then Amaterasu is next. Amaterasu, giving you some lead time so they know to unmute and everything, and you can hear us. And we got 2 more callers after Amaterasu. So once again, you are muted. Give yourself a chance to get unmuted. We'll give you a few seconds here. Hopefully you're there.
Hello.
There he is.
Howdy.
Hello.
So I'm a first time caller.
Welcome in.
Welcome.
And I have just like a few things I want to address.
Okay.
One of them is expectations for Citizencon. Like last year, they showed off a lot of exciting stuff.
Yeah.
We saw a lot of cool stuff that we were expecting to get this year, which they were not able to deliver on. And the thing is, when we all saw that stuff last year, it was we were already kind of knowing and thinking that it will not happen this year.
Some
already
of
like
it.
had like a guess. We're like, never we will get everything this year.
I remember
like
we
the
said
amount-
if
the
we
amount
get
of us that were
50%,
like-
we'd be happy.
Yeah.
We got 50%, but not the 50% that would make a lot of us happy.
Yeah. And the thing is, I completely ignored what Chris Roberts like when he came on stage and was like, "Yeah, we're gonna get everything in 12 months or so."
Yeah.
And I was like, can he like not just say nothing, no dates, no anything? And
You can't help it.
I'm pretty sure he's going to do that this Citizencon again.
Of course.
Well, not only that,
And-
but at some point you have to say a date, and now it's like Boy Who Cried Wolf, right? I mean, it has been for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. If he didn't say anything last Citizencon, I think the community would be way more happy with this year's progress.
Yeah.
Where they're like, because if you don't expect anything, you can get disappointed, you know.
Yeah.
To some degree, and I think there was like a lot of stuff that came in this year, like replication layer that was like expected to break the game completely, like 3.18, but it somehow like kind of held together. I mean, it was very stressful in the first few iterations, but it later became like a little bit more stable with the point patches. And also like a lot of other stuff that came in that was, compared to the years before, a big of course it wasn't gameplay, it was more quality of life, it was UI updates and stuff, but a lot of stuff that was a long time coming, a long time wished for the players, like the star map and a lot of other stuff. And I just wanna go into the new Citizencon with that kind of expectation. With, okay, ignore what Chris Roberts said. Just look what they're gonna show, because even if they just gonna deliver 50% again next year.
That's how I went into last year. But what they
Yeah.
showed, they didn't do either, and what they showed, and it came in less polished than how they showed it. And like, even though it's like what Chris said, it was like what everyone said, what everyone was doing. And it was like the whole theme of it was Squadron 42 feature complete. We're actually going to focus on Star Citizen. I don't know if that really happened this year. So yeah, I'm with you. I think that's a really good attitude to go in with personally, but it's, I don't know. Just, yeah, last year was,
The other thing
that was a tough
about Squadron, like the thing is, isn't it normally after something like in development, in software development goes, like especially games, goes feature complete, isn't what comes after then content complete, and then comes the polish? Like,
I don't know.
The feature complete
Don't
is
most
the
game companies
alpha?
make their game in gray box first and actually figure out all the designs and then make the game that way? Or, you know, so who knows what CIG
Yeah,
does? They're doing everything backwards anyway.
That's the question. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe they said, like, they weren't lying when they said feature complete, but maybe they made it seem like the game is further along than it actually maybe is.
They didn't make it
And-
seem. They said directly there would be
Yeah.
more focus, or a lot more focus, or a lot of these features will come directly into Star Citizen. It was like literally word for word. So like it wasn't even like they implied. They literally just straight up said it, right?
No,
and,
I mean,
and somebody in chat says feature complete doesn't mean polishing. They said the next phase is the polishing phase, by the way, as well. So
after feature complete.
correct.
Like they said, we will be focusing on polishing. the
Yeah,
game
they
and,
said
like,
that, but
stuff.
normally in software, there's like alpha is feature complete, beta is content complete, and then comes polish and then release. That's like how it usually goes.
Yep.
That's why maybe they have a different kind of way of structuring that or something like that, or maybe feature complete in Squadron is way more progress than in other games because it has so many features or something like that. That could also be like the case, but yeah, I just wanna temper down expectation that maybe Squadron might still be a little bit way off, but who knows? Maybe we'll get surprised. But yeah, let's see.
Yeah, we'll see. But these guys, who knows? Sometimes I don't know if they're in software development. I don't know what, web development maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoy Star Citizen more as a tech project more than as a game project. Like seeing like all the new tech coming in, especially like server meshing, the server meshing tests and stuff. Like that's like really exciting, really interesting to witness. I don't know if it's for other people, but to me it is personally. I enjoy that that aspect of the game. And yes, of course, I play the game from time to time, but that is like the main interest I have in the game. But let's see.
Okay. All right. Anything else you want to talk about?
I still have like a copium.
Give us your
Lava
copium
copium
take.
take.
A copium take. My copium take for Citizencon is a new crime system. That's like I really, really hope for that we get
Interesting.
a new crime stat system where decisions in the verse have persistent consequences.
So
For
reputation.
example,
Yeah, I was gonna say you're basically saying
reputation, but in a positive as well as in a negative way. Like you can, for example, if you do like a lots of crimes at microtech jurisdiction, at some point, the moment, like no matter if you go to jail or not, at some point you have like such a negative reputation that the moment a comma ray connects to your MobiGlass, you instantly get a crime stat in the bounty on you.
Mm-hmm.
Or something like that. Or at some point, if you do like enough bad stuff in the UE system, you get banned out of it and you have to like stay in Pyro or something, and then you have to like get smuggled back into Stanton or something like that. Like,
I mean, something has to
be-
change with the fact that there's a new system that is unlawful, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
Not to mention with the increase of player numbers, that system's going to have a full relook at anyway.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was getting pirated the other day on SMO 18. I was like hauling gold, and there was like a player that just randomly started. First of all, he came in with his Titan, and there was just one cargo elevator working. And I was occupying it, and I was like getting like boxes out, and then he came over and wanted to use it. I let him use it real quick. He took out a 4 ACU box to get it into his Titan, and he had like trouble getting it in. I went over, helped him putting it in his Titan, and the moment I turn around, he runs to my ship and starts getting boxes out and tries to put them in my out of my Connie.
Yeah.
And then into his Titan. I knew that something like that was happening because there was like a Gladius landed outside there, so I called an escort in global chat. After that, I told him when the Titan flies off, please shoot him down. he just shoot him down. And the moment I turn around to my Connie, there was another guy standing on my elevator, and he was just standing there, not moving away. And there's nothing you can do about that. He just stands there, sits there on the elevator, and you can just look at him and hope that he goes away. My escort tried to like run him over with a Hornet or something from the Connie elevator. Didn't work. In the end, we just had like, okay, you know what? Get in me with the Connie. And then my escort flew the Connie out of the armistice zone. And I just hoped that I can pull the trigger faster than the dude that got into the Connie with me. Yeah, he killed both of us and stole a complete load of gold. Yeah,
there you go.
That was frustrating. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine. But all right, our
yes,
Amaterasu. Excuse me, man, I say it really badly. We got a couple more callers, but that was a funny story to end on. Just like the guy, hey, I need help. All right, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Cheers, mate.
And welcome for your first time call. We enjoyed it.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right.
See
Bye
you
now.
soon.
Bye.
See you, mate.
All right, we got 2 callers left, TheKazz and KingJasper. So be ready. TheKazz.
Kaz, how you doing?
What's up?
I'm doing pretty good.
Hell yeah.
All right. So first thing I want to talk about is the 1.0 roadmap, or not roadmap, but like what is 1.0?
Yeah, it is basically a roadmap. Yeah.
That's true. But I think it is super important, just because it, as Mike said, it's pretty much never happened. I would say that it has happened, but it happened in 2012 with the original Kickstarter. And we're obviously so far beyond what that vision was at this point.
Exactly.
It needs to happen. And I think the other thing that I think is just as important of what is 1.0 is what isn't 1.0, right? Like how would you feel if they just came out and said like, hey, hacking is not going to be a 1.0 feature.
I mean, that wouldn't bother me too much, but it would be funny because they talked about it so much.
Yeah, I mean, hacking is that's the random pick, but like
just an
these are the
example.
things that we've talked about in the past that we know are not going to be part of 1.0.
Mm-hmm. Like if they said orgs 2.0 is not, like obviously we think it will be given the panel, but yeah, I would be like, what?
Like there is definitely expectations that I think the majority of players have that are reasonable for 1.0.
Yeah.
The stuff that's gonna happen that's gonna annoy people is like maybe certain aspects of the economy won't work the way that we want, or certain aspects of like the social gameplay won't work the way that we want.
Yeah.
But it's such an enigma until we get to that. It's a hard one to speculate on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's really kind of what I want to see from that is just this is what we plan on being in 1.0. This is what may not be in 1.0. And then kind of going along with that with the Beyond Pyro thing. I think they have to at least talk about Terra, because I do think Terra is part of that 1.0 release, right? That's part of that 1.0 vision, because I just don't see how you release into a 1.0 state without at least 3 to 5 systems minimum, right? Hopefully more towards that 5, and I think Terra is one of those. And I don't think it'll be
that's
done,
reasonable.
obviously.
Yeah, exactly. That's my thing. I think it's reasonable that it could be one of the first 5. I don't think it's going to be a system they're going to show us. That's all I'm saying. I think it's too far away at the moment.
Yep.
That's fair.
I think they'll sneak it, but that's it.
Probably.
Yeah, like I wouldn't be surprised if they like show like concept art of like this is what what the capital city of Terra will be or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Which they also did in 2012, by the way.
Yeah. And then for my that's kind of the main thing that I wanted to bring up. As far as my required copium take here.
Yep.
I think it's going to be a hard release date for Squadron 42. Not just like a vague window, but like a
like the actual
December
date.
2nd. Yeah, December 2nd, 2025.
That'll be funny.
And then
just
so they don't have the boy who cried wolf sort of syndrome, because like if they do that, the first reaction of everybody is okay, like I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
So to go along with that, a playable demo that they released to all backers on that day,
as long as you buy the
mission
goodies
1
pack.
I mean, maybe it is.
I don't want to do it.
Some sort of playable demo for all the backers for the first mission of Squadron 42.
I can see that. I once again not the most unreasonable copium take. Yeah. A hard date would be really interesting because, like, yes, obviously CIG have their history with dates, but like even like most games don't do hard dates that far out anymore, right? Like they'll do a hard date once they're like 2-3 months away now. So it'd be crazy if he went that specific. It'd be crazy.
Yeah, that's my thoughts.
All right. That is a take. We'll see though.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right, Kaz.
Yep.
All right.
Have a good one.
Cool.
Bye now.
Catch up.
All right. Hopefully, I didn't have any issues there. I accidentally opened a program that usually like eats CPU. So when I tried to come back to OBS, but all right, KingJasper is next. Welcome. Are you here,
Jasper?
Hello. I'm doing good.
Good to hear.
Next and last as well.
Hi.
Yeah.
So, what do you got for us?
I want to spout someone else's truth first. A dark take was put to me, and I don't like it, but it could be true. If I told you last year that you would be able to fly the F7A Mark II, because we never heard a word about it until it released, If I told you the flyable, you would be able to fly around in the Idris interior. If I told you that there was going to be a pyro playtest at the next Citizencon, would you believe any of those things?
The pyro
I mean,
playtest, yes. And
the
yes,
ship
all
one,
of them actually,
ship one,
I
yes. Ship stuff is like pretty consistently accurate for the most part. It's one of the thing, ship sales is one of the things CRG are really good at getting there. The Idris one I probably wouldn't have believed, actually, I would
Yeah,
say.
maybe not the Idris as much, but
and
everything
then
else,
the pyro playtest, yeah, I would have believed that. Yeah.
The dark prediction I was given was, oh, we're going to get an F7, an F8A. And it seems more likely than getting the Idris. Or
it doesn't matter what it is. It's going to be...
Yeah.
It's going to be some horse shit.
Yeah. Yep.
Or it's going to be the Mole Mark II.
I don't want any
I'd
more Mark
still
II
be
ships.
pissed. I'd still be pissed.
It's got 4 lasers this time.
Oh, nice. Even more people sitting around doing nothing. Or more lasers for one guy to put on a ship so he can break a wider range of rocks by himself.
Yes.
Yes.
Solo miner's dream.
Yeah. I see the BB88 in chat say, I tell you what it's not going to be. Free. Whatever it is, you're going to have to swipe for it. So, yeah. Bummer.
I kind of predict that a Brave New World might actually just be kind of like a tech demo for like Star Engine itself again, kind of the same way the Spline thing was.
It did
where it's
so
like, hey,
well last year. You would think they would do it again.
Yeah.
I agree. I think what it'll be different to I think it'll be a lot of the same sort of stuff, but I think the difference will be they may do it as a live demo, as like an actual gameplay demo. The fact that there's going to be tech guys on that panel as well, I think we'll see like AI, because that was pretty much just absent from the Star Engine last year, right? Other than like a couple of quasi grazers just standing there. So I think it'll be more like but more gameplay focused, if that makes sense, rather than what the last one was, which was more visual focused.
I don't know. I feel like it could just be more like a tech thing, like, hey, advertising to actual devs that, hey, we're doing this. This is, the stuff that our thing can now do.
That is not the vibe the devs are giving. The vibe the devs are giving is the exact opposite. It's what Croncy is saying. Like, the vibe is it's for the gamers this year. It's for the gamers. But I don't believe that because, like, for the gamers means it's actually in the game. So... what you say at Citizencon isn't for anybody. It's what you actually do, right? So we'll see.
My hope for Social Universe is that it's just like org-focused features,
Yep.
Yeah, that would be great.
I don't want to hear any more about like how we're interacting with NPCs or how we're, just doing more stuff for them over and over again.
Yeah.
Hey, how about VoIP working consistently? That would be cool.
In some parts it's like GPU bound and so it's like a performance issue. So
I don't care why. Fix it.
Mike getting skill issued on the pod.
I have a 3090. What are you skill issuing me? What do you mean? Hello?
Yeah. Oh,
okay.
Hello?
Yeah, sorry, it was quiet.
Okay. If Beyond Pyro could just be like a system that we're actually going to see sometime soon, like one of the ones connected one way or the other, that'd be like ideal. But
it'd be weird for it not to be. We are literally about to do our first jumps. Some of us, like Mike, have already done our first jumps
many times, actually.
But we're about to start jumping finally. We need to know where we go from Pyro, obviously. And so it's going to be one of the systems or multiple systems that are connected to Stanton and Pyro. And I would hanger a bet that it will be multiple. I don't think they'll just show Nyx, because that's not like, it's cool, but it's not exciting. You want that extra stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it needs to be kind of the what's next moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Because whilst the void will be filled with pyro temporarily, the void is ever hungry.
Yeah.
We will get bored of it surprisingly quickly.
Yeah. Anything else? Because we have far exceeded our 2-hour mark at this point, and Croncy has so much shit to do, and I don't want to hold him.
The captain of industry and the crafting thing combo is probably just going to be, hey, here's what we're doing, here's the ship sail to go attach to it, and then
yeah, you're probably right, but don't do that to me.
It's
the big takeaway that I want from that is I just want them to explain how they're going to do crafting.
Yeah.
Is
I
there
could
a
be like,
blueprint system? How is that going to work?
I like this.
All that
I
stuff.
don't like this.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's what I want to take out of the crafting thing. The ships, we know what the ships are going to be. We know it's going to be.
Exactly, yeah.
It's going to be, swipe.
in the
please,
same way that
swipe,
they're saying,
please,
like,
please.
this is kind of what we're wanting to concrete in for 1.0, like, this is kind of what it's supposed to look like. I feel like that is, again, like one of those things where it's like, do they want to commit to that, or do they want to keep it nebulous so that they can not promise it and then not deliver it?
I mean, yes.
I mean, they've spent so much of this year concepting it. Like the new feature this year that they're like actively working on is base building and crafting, right? All the other features this year, the non-tech features this year have all been like squadron-based UI stuff, right? And some like other bits and pieces here. So it's like, I am hoping that they have spent the last 10 months doing this concepting and will commit to it. And honestly, that's like a good way to sort of like end the predictions, is like, this is a big commitment year for their features.
Yep.
And sort of see if they can do that.
Yeah.
I feel like I've said that every year, but
True.
I don't know. I fall into the category again of just like, you can promise whatever you want, but unless I see it in game or in a test or in a leak somewhere, it doesn't really exist.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But all right, King, is that where we leave you?
I guess my copium take is I just want the economy to be like something that's like interactive between the two systems.
Gotta say, little disappointed, no economy panel. Gotta say.
But social,
where can we tie it? Social?
Right? So social could be a big one, especially because they talk about one-on-one.
Crafting.
And then part of it presumably will be in crafting and base building. So that's where I expect to see some stuff from that.
Hopefully. We'll see. All right, King. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Right.
Thank you for anchoring the show. We appreciate it. And we'll see you next week at Citcon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mate. Have a good one.
All right, bro. So obviously, everyone, the thing to note is there will not be an Answer the Call podcast next week because there will be Citcon next week. So it'll still be the coverage on my Twitch channel, but we will not be live streaming on YouTube. So it'll be similar. The scenes will look similar to last year, which are very similar to these, just level cap in my colors instead of Croncy's and my colors. Well, and that's not even Croncy's color, which is like the funny meme. It was just the color he had on the day that we decided to make the art. And so it'll just be that, and we'll be doing the same, very similar to what we did last year, which is just cover the event, watch the panels, try to be quiet, and then in between the panels talk, and then maybe take some calls if there is time to. Last year was crazy. It was like back to back to back to back. We got to a few calls, and then I'll do my best to stay in contact with you, Croncy, and we'll see what we can get done on that front. But
definitely going to do a call in on the Saturday and do a walk around, showing everyone, like showing all you guys what the convention looks like.
Yeah, it would it would be great because like that doors open section when things are kind of quiet. That would be
exactly.
So we'll try for that for sure, and if we can get anything like what'd you think about the panel stuff, like we'll get that in. So I hope you guys are enjoying the podcast. Again, I talked about the numbers for the first time. It's very crazy right now. So thank you. If you're new here, make sure you hit the follow button on my Twitch channel. I'll try another shout out on Croncy's. I did it during the show earlier. Let's see if it lets me. It does. So make sure you hit the follow button up there in chat on Twitch for Croncy's channel. If you're on YouTube, those are all linked in the description. But make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel if you guys haven't yet. And we're we're excited, right? I'm like, obviously I think we're giving pretty balanced takes here of like, hey, some shit's gonna suck, but for the most part, I'm pretty excited. So
I think we finished this with one last prediction, Mike.
Do we do our copiums?
We did our copiums.
Okay, yeah.
But we had answer the call. Last year we had I held the line. What is the tagline of this year's Citcon?
Oh, it's literally or so. Like
I think it's caller waiting.
Caller waiting or this person's phone is no longer connected. So yeah, like or so is literally in the art for the show this year. So yeah.
Yep.
Oh man, but I think that's where we leave the show, guys. So don't forget until the following week after Citizencon to answer the call. What do you have? What are you wearing?